Hey everybody, welcome back to Vintage Poor Boy Survival on Elmcreek. This is Graybeard Gaming, and it is September, so a lot is happening right now. We have some decisions to make. I do hope everybody's been well. I haven't recorded a video in a couple of days, so I thought I would go ahead and get one in today. So a couple things I want to talk about. First and foremost, we have an opportunity to increase our size of our farm. Now, what are we thinking? I think we do it, but it's going to wipe out all of our money. So we will have to come up with like $6,000 just to cover our expenses for the month once it is completed. But I kind of want this field. It is not yet planted. It would be something that we could increase the size of it a little bit, but then at the same time, when we're increasing the size, we're actually connecting it to this here field, and that would give us a really good sized field. I mean, when you look at it, we would fill in this area here, and eventually we will buy field 47 as well, and then we'll just kind of continue on here and increase the size of it. But at the same time, I want to leave this track here to get in and out from this side of our grass field. But I'm leaning towards combining these two fields, and the cost of this one, I think currently we have right around $36,000. So the cost of this one is just over $36,000. So that means we have to do a couple contracts today. So what do you guys think of that? That is the plan we are going to go ahead with. We're going to purchase that field today. But in order to do that, I got to make a little money. Now, I don't believe our silage is ready to take out of the clamp yet. And let's take a quick look. No, it's at 75%, that's fine. Whatever, we'll get there. We'll get it emptied out. And that is the big part of this episode, is getting that money around so that we can purchase that field. I don't know if you guys remember from previous episode, we actually purchased this silo for potatoes, which, I mean, it's not perfect. It only holds 100 and 120,000 liters, so it doesn't hold an unlimited, unreal amount. But for right now, it's going to get us by. Next year, I plan on combining these two fields together as well, and we'll combine up right through here, and we'll probably start at swinging around here a little bit, and we'll try to incorporate this grassy part, and we're going to take this walking trail right out, and we're going to increase the size of this field just a little bit more so that we'll have that field as being large. So I really I am getting excited about this because we're starting to progress. I do have a little bit of grass hay left that I've been slowly using up on contracts. That way I can utilize the grass and the silage clamp. But yeah, that is the bulk of what we're planning on doing today. Let's go ahead and take a look, see what kind of contracts we have available, and that way we can see what we need to make in order to actually get rolling on our next thing. We'll probably take this one here. Yeah, we're going to take this one here. It'd be silly of us not to, because they do want it dried with the tedder, so we'll accept that one. But I also want to look at field 23 cultivating, so I think we'll take that one, as well as field 28. And for good measure, let's go ahead and make sure we don't have anything else we can do. Oh, we got a fertilizing option, which, that's always nice. Well, we got a bunch of them now. So yeah, I think field 21, if we're cultivating, we may as well probably take that on as well. Let's double check where that location is, but I think that's right up here as well. Yeah, if we're already cultivating 23 and 28, there's no reason that we shouldn't just take 21 and knock that one out as well. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to do that also. And I'm going to actually try and do these contracts, with the exception of cutting the grass. I'm going to try and do these all myself, as opposed to getting a AI worker in there. Now, other contracts we can take. I probably will look into getting these, like field 22, these field 52, 55, 60. Those ones are probably ones I'm going to take, which, you know what, I'm just going to accept. Which one did I accept? Oh, 22. Wasn't the one I wanted, but yeah, we're at our max. So yeah, that's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, we're going to get in the D21 and let's get cultivating. So one of the things I do want to bring up, and I want to have this as a conversation, I'd like to see some comments on this, but I'd really like to get another tractor. I did notice doing harvests with that larger grain wagon, especially when I was hauling potatoes back and forth. This tractor was really struggling, and I didn't even try with the Renault because I knew this is the better tractor for pulling. But I'm thinking that it might be time to get something a little bit beefier for the farm that we can use. It doesn't necessarily have to plow, it doesn't necessarily have to cultivate, but I do want something that can pull our forage wagon properly, as well as pull the large grain wagon. So if I can accomplish those two things, that would be great. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead, we're going to head over here, we're going to start with field 28. We're going to go ahead and get that cultivated. Let's go ahead and put our unfold our cultivator, because I want this to take the least amount of time possible. And let's go ahead, we're going to drop it down and get started. So there are 4 tractors in particular. They're all medium tractors, and they range in horsepower, I believe, 170 to like 213 horsepower. And one in particular I've never used, and I'm really intrigued by it. It is an Ellis Chalmers. I really do want to get that one. It's the most economical option. But as far as the tractors that I'm looking at, I believe there's 4. I'll have to double check. Yes, there is 4. It is the biggest. It's also the slowest, and I do not believe it has 3-point hitch capability, which would really limit us. I mean, it wouldn't run this cultivator. It would have to cultivate with a tow behind, or a subsoiler, like a disc harrow or something like that. So we would be limited on some of the stuff we could do with it. But I've also thought maybe we buy 2. So what I'm going to do is once we get down through this run right here, I'm actually going to turn around, get lined up, but I'm going to jump into the shop, and we're going to take a quick look, see what we can decide on. But I'd really like to hear some comments, because I'm not going to do it this month, because my goal is to get my hands on the other field. So what I'm thinking is, if we go into medium tractors here, there are 4 options. So option number 1 is the Allis-Chalmers 440, and this actually it's at 218 horse. Now, I really like this tractor. I think it's just beefy. It's, but it's pretty light. And I've been looking at this, I would probably want to go with something more of a dual. Yeah, I think a dual would be nice. There are options. It does, it does have some different options. I kind of like this one, but it does remind me more of a Case from the 80s when it's this way. So the solid orange with the white top cab, that might be the way we go on this one. And maybe with the tall duals, I haven't decided yet because I just haven't. So the exhaust being stock, that's great, but I really like the custom. The dual chrome is kind of cool, but I don't think it's necessary. But yeah, I do like the custom. Lights, LED or stock. I'd probably go with the LED just to get the extra lighting. And I mean, we're still under 20,000 if we go with this tractor. Now, the tanks, they just look cool, but they don't add anything to the tractor as far as, fuel capacity, weight, or nothing. So while I think that that's cool, same with the exhaust. It's cool, but it's not necessary. It doesn't add anything. At least the duals adds weight to the overall tractor, and that's not that's actually a good thing. So I don't know what that does. Oh, this is just GPS. I'm not going to do GPS on this. So yeah, that is kind of what we're looking at here as far as the first option. Second option, well, I'm glad you asked, because I want to go with something a little more modern, but still in that modern classic, and that is the TW35 Ford, which actually has 190 horse, but it does go 25 miles per hour, but it's got, only a 300 liter tank, but it weighs 6.9 or the 6.9 ton for the towing. Now, there's not a whole lot of options. So as you can see, we can go with twin wheels all around, twin in the front, or just wide tires. So, I mean, you've only got a few options there. I do like this tractor. I've used it in the past. It's a nice little tractor, great all-around farm tractor. It does not allow for a front loader. Obviously, neither does the Allis-Chalmers 440. Now, another option, and I'm sure many people have used this in the past. I know I've seen it on multiple channels, and it is one that has gotten a lot of play because it's a good, solid tractor. And I'm just trying to find it. I'm sure I passed it. Oh, here it is. It's the Fiat. What is it? The 180, 190. This tractor is 180 horse. It's the most expensive of all the tractors I'm looking at. Like, this Ford tops out with the wide tires around, I think, just over 20. This tractor, however, I like this tractor a lot. It's got decent top end speed, it would be the fastest tractor. It's just a hair slower than the Ford. You know, the configuration, this one also allows for front linkage, which I haven't needed, but it would allow us to put a weight on the front of this tractor, or we can just add a weight. But I mean, that weight only adds half a ton. So I am kind of inclined to, if I was to get this one, I would just go with the oh shoot, I'm in the wrong spot. That's why I couldn't find it, guys. That's silly of me. I would probably wind up going with front linkage, because it's only $1,500 on this tractor, and it's just I mean, this is one of the most useful tractors I've ever had in this in the game. So I really do enjoy using it. I mean, it's got great lighting. It's also got the option for doing a front loader attacher. So I really like this tractor. This one is probably right now is currently sitting at like number 2 on my list as far as what we could get, because it still has the 3-point hitch hookup, and this can do a lot. I really do like this one. Final option, you guys, is the good old Field Boss. And you guys have probably all seen this many a time. It starts off with 125 horse, but it'll go up to 170. But going up on the scale of getting it to 170, it's 2-wheel drive, and you know, its weight is decent. Its speed is a little on the slow side for, you know, how expensive we're starting to get. Yeah, I mean, you can get all sorts of GPS, but I just don't think it's worth it on this type of tractor. As far as, you know, duals with weight, you know, we're only at 7.2 for the horsepower and the price. I mean, I think the weight is a very underrated tractor. I really do, but I just don't think it's what it's not exactly what we're gonna want now. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of people really like this tractor. I think it's a nice tractor. It's very useful. It does so much, but if I'm going to pay that kind of money for a, you know, old iron tractor, I think the best option for us should be the Fiat Gari. But I really want to try that Alice Chalmers 440. I've been looking for a playthrough, and I've been happy with this Alice Chalmers. I've been fairly happy with the Renault, and I've enjoyed them both immensely. So I'm thinking that what we'll wind up doing is we're going to move the Renault up to the field for grass use only. And in doing that, you know, this one will go back and forth, you know, as far as hauling bales to and from the sale points on contracts. But I really think that as far as our money is concerned, I think short-term and long-term, the Alice Chalmers 440 is the best bang for our buck, because we don't have to have 3-point because we have every piece of equipment we absolutely have to need for 3-point hookup, and quite honestly, this tractor right here can do all of it. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at when it comes to money. I really want to come up with an idea on, I want something that's able to pull those other trailers. And I get the fact we could go purchase a truck, especially a grain truck, and utilize that as an option for doing all of our hauling of grain, and we wouldn't have to worry so much about the hills, especially over by Johnson's Farmers Market, which has been the biggest problem that I've had is, accelerating with not even a full load, even with 3/4 of a load in that large grain trailer. This tractor has been struggling mightily with it, and I just, trying to take that hill up to Johnson's Farmers Market, it's dropped down to as low as 1 mile an hour trying to get up that hill if I am fully loaded. And I just don't think that is going to help us out long term, especially when you consider the fact that we have such a low capacity in our harvesters that we currently use. Both those harvesters, the one for root crops and our Alice Chalmers combine harvester, they don't have these massive capacities. So when we fill up our grain cart, we wind up going to the sell point, and we are sitting there idle because by the time we get back, we've hired an AI worker. That harvester is full. So I really want to get something that can, and a lot of the problem is, I think we cut down on a lot of that if we had something that could actually move a little bit faster, a little bit easier up and down those hills. Oddly enough, I think the Ford is my fourth choice. I've used it in other playthroughs. It's a little too modern for me. I mean, it still falls within the modern classics, but as far as this playthrough, I feel like it's a little bit too modern, but I could get away with it. I like the fact that it is 4-wheel drive. That's the one thing about the Field Boss that probably is the biggest negative, is it's only a 2-wheel drive tractor. But they all would properly pull the forage wagon as well, and that's another main factor I think that I have to put into consideration. We can't just have equipment that long term we're pulling equipment that these tractors really aren't meant to pull. Even though this is a medium tractor, it's not meant to pull that, because if I have to have the pickup down at all times in order to properly steer that wagon, I mean, to me that just, if that was a real farm forage wagon, that pickup would be ruined. I mean, it would be completely decimated. You would have hit, rocks on gravel roads. When you're coming through a driveway in a field that has ruts, you would have bent all the tines all to hell. So I think that in particular, that would tell us that it's not realistic enough for the playthrough. I just really want the realistic, feel, and if we can obtain that, that would be great. So, yeah, I mean, I'm continuing on here. Like I said, I don't want to. I might do this off screen. I don't want to hire any workers just because I want to save the money. I want to be able to buy the field, and I also have to accumulate, $6,000 to $7,000 just to stay afloat through October. And October we will sell off what's in our silage clamp and everything like that. But I really, really want to get that field. I know that seems a little, maybe I'm being a little too aggressive trying to purchase another property right now. But when I start looking at how much money we can make off of what we have, you know, it's not enough. It's not enough to cover our expenses with the loan. And that is the biggest problem I'm seeing that we're facing, because we've basically got to have close to $70,000 to get through a year. And those 3 fields, or I'm sorry, the 4 fields that I currently have, one is grass, and you know, I'll sell that in January, and yeah, I'm gonna make decent money on that. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not gonna make 70,000. And then, you know, the potatoes that I have almost 50,000 liters of potatoes, but those 50,000 liters of potatoes are only worth, like, at the best time to sell, they're only worth like $15,000. I mean, 15,000 and you know, even if I can manage to get 10,000 liters of soybeans, you know, still that's only going to be, because I'm on, the economy is set to hard, I think that maxes out at like 2,100. So I mean, that's like $21,000. So my potatoes and that, I'm under 40,000. So if I don't make at least 30 on the silage, then I'm gonna be in debt. And obviously, yes, I can do contracts and I can pull myself out of debt doing those contracts, and that's what I'm going to have to do. But eventually, I don't want to do contracts. I don't want to work for the other farmers. I want to be able to just, you know, be able to do our own thing and run our own farm, because that's, to me, what survival is all about. You know, you're helping the other one survive, but what are they doing for you? Nothing. So yeah, let's try and focus on improving our lot. And you know, I mean, we've got 1 year down on this initial loan, and we need to get through 2 more. So yeah, we're pushing hard to do it, and we've done well so far, but we've got a long ways to go. And as long as we can progress, let's say, the next couple of years, I mean, I don't see why there's any reason that we can't grow, you know, and buy that other field as well. That's just on the other side of the tree line, so that we would have all 3 of those. And if we could somehow have all 3 of those fields, we could really start in on other stuff as well. I'm thinking I want to get some sort of livestock going, because as much, you know, as much fun as it is to watch me cut grass and put it in a silage clamp, let's be honest, I hate it as much as you guys do, but it's a means to the end. It's a way that we're trying to survive, and we'll continue to do it. But I would much rather utilize that field, even if it is grass, and have sheep, or put in sugar beets and use that to feed hogs. Like, I think that would be much more fun, and I think it would just add a new dynamic to this playthrough that we currently don't have. And because if all we're doing is spending our time farming for other farmers, you know, that means we're just doing that to scrape by. And I want to do more than just scrape by on this. I want to thrive. So yeah, looks like we just completed the rest of this field, so we're going to go ahead and complete that. And while we're right here, we're going to go ahead and accept that one for fertilizing. So I guess, guys, I've done a lot of talking on this one. I hope you guys enjoyed it, but I think we're going to call it here, and we will be back with another episode tomorrow on Vintage Poor Boy Survival on Elmcreek. So this is Graybeard Gaming, wishing you guys a great evening. Thank you, and see you next time.